I'm starting to get this idea that people are not hip to the concept of opinions online not being shared, because the ramification of opinions being shared online is people seeing it and thinking, wow, you might be either stupid, dumb, or insane. And when we talk about a woman who got online saying that she would rather take her own children out than be arrested by ICE, yeah, you would come to the understanding that people would think that this woman is insane. And before I play this, damn it, why can't this nose ring theory be defeated?
I really pray it doesn't get bad enough. But being a mom in America, I had to stop walking for this. I often think that if it gets to the point of knocking on doors, God, and like, to even have these thoughts,
okay,
it's like I'm literally separating from reality right now.
You should never do that. You should never do that. You should be able to look at reality and think of all the good and bad scenarios. You should never take yourself out of reality, because when you take yourself out of reality, that's when you start actually thinking that you could get away with doing stupid things that would land you in jail.
It comes down to me taking out myself and my kids versus us being taken and harmed by ICE. Like, God help me, I did not want to do it. This is not...
Ma'am, now I don't know if it's just me. Maybe it's the TikTok filter. Maybe it's the makeup. I have no clue. But based on what I am seeing, we could talk about ethnical backgrounds and which side of the gene pool you could fall under, but you look white! You would be one of the last that ICE would be worried about. I don't understand how you could think to yourself, all right, maybe, just maybe, we could live in this concept where I could be taken out by ICE, and I would rather take out my kids if we were in that scenario. Look, what's not clicking here?
Not the life I wanted, but that is a very dark thought that I've had. Death would be a easier out than for my children to be taken and harmed by these.
Okay, so time out. Let's operate right now. Again, I'm working with this idea that somebody is operating under the guise of saying, hey, these ICE agents are taking, I guess, girls and women and bringing them into these detention centers and unconsensually grabbing at the bodies. And if that were to be the case, it needs to be investigated. And if it turns out that there's a widespread of it that's gone unchecked and now people are checking it, abolish the whole thing, because that's disturbing. However, we are sitting with this concept and thinking it's somehow better to just kill your own kids, because that somehow makes a lick of more sense than just going through a process and making sure that you are legal and safe. That way you wouldn't have to interact with ICE, if at all. And of course, this goes viral. People see it. People are a little fucking disturbed that somebody would say that they would rather kill their kids than, I guess, be detained or questioned by ICE. And she had to double back and signify how stupid everybody is for being concerned at something stupid that they heard online.
So one of my videos recently went viral, and people are purposely misunderstanding it.
No, I heard you. I understand that you have this scenario in your mind that it comes down to one or the other, and you have this dark thought that would lead you towards the other. And I find that to be stupid. I heard you. I understood that it was this concept that you have this fear because you've read and heard about something. And so in your mind, it takes you to a dark place of deciding, would you rather your child be violated by a stranger or be violated by you?
I said, if the administration gets to a point, this is a thought that has occurred to me. I did not say my kids are at risk right now because of thoughts I'm having. It was a what if. You're telling me that if 10 people with guns show up at your front door threatening to knock it down,
I'm not going to then look at my child and say, well, time to fucking go. It's not gonna be something I would think about. No, not really.
And you're going, I don't want to get murdered, whatever they might do, that you wouldn't maybe have that thought process?
No, madam, honestly, I'm gonna tell you, honestly, no. I'm not thinking, all right, they're about to arrest me. before they do it, let me Chris Benoit my whole fucking family right now. I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking, all right, what can I do in a split second that would keep my children safe while I'm being put in handcuffs?
And you keep telling me to get help, like a second therapist is going to do anything for me. And to be very clear, CPS has not contacted me. They're most likely not going to over a what if video.
You playing with fire. You're playing with fire, and the fire is online, because these people online, they probably saw all this and they thought to themselves, let's just start spam calling CPS. So for the moment, they might not be there, but I got like this sneaking suspicion that in the next few days, there will be a video made by you talking about CPS showing up. And while it is crazy, I can't necessarily be shocked, because people are hearing a mother talk about how she has it in her mind that if she lives in a world where things get bad, she'll think about killing her kids. Honestly, I'm not shocked if CPS shows up at your door.
I do have a copy of it because they all download when I post them. Now, if I came on the internet and said, I'm going to do this because this is happening, and that's obviously not happening, clear separation from reality, absolutely makes sense to call about it. You guys are wasting time for likes and views, and again, on a what if thought process.
Well, many people are doing that, especially the guy you're watching right now. And in doing so, it creates that standard where I could just return the favor and say, aren't you doing the same thing by posting this TikTok on social media?
Who knows? The administration may never even get to that point. And then all of you guys did this for what?
Oh, well, if the administration doesn't get to that point, I find it to be a checks notes good thing, because I would hold the drastic assumption about all of humanity that none of us want to find out that children are being separated from their families and ICE agents are doubling back to violate bodies. I hold the distinction with my right hand in the air. No one wants to live in that world. Another world I don't want to live in is one where a mother apparently gets confronted by ICE and she thinks to herself, all right, what can I do to save my family? Kill him. It's this stupid precedent set by people who don't recognize that the minute you post something, you could potentially go viral. And you could go viral for something positive, or you could go viral for something stupid. And getting online and talking about these ideas you have in your head about what you will and won't do when ICE shows up at your door, especially when you have the gene pool that strongly puts you in the white category, it makes you look stupid. It makes people want to question. It has people worried that given a situation, you might actually shoot your kids at a moment's notice. So calling CPS wouldn't be the shock of all shocks. It's you dismissing it because you have a bone to pick with an administration and how much you hate it, which is fine, but leave the kids out of it. And just because I'm a little concerned, what's with all the dots in your fucking face? Because that's just concerning. But ultimately, you don't need to involve your children in your takes online. You could start talking about how the world is getting scarier and what these ICE agents will or won't do, and that's perfectly fine. But to lose yourself in thinking that there could be a rational thought or even a theory or a separate reality in your mind where you could find it acceptable to look at your children that you laid on your back and got thrusted in to help create. You look at them and you say, you know what? I'd rather just end your life. That's kind of dumb and warrants people criticizing you. And if you cannot handle that, if you want to get back online and say everybody's losing their mind and everybody's sensitive this and everybody's sensitive that, don't post the shit online to see and have these people call you a bad mother.